Trinity Annual #1, Rob Williams writing, Gilliam March on art. So this isn't actually standalone. This is following the main plot, not the current Manipul plot. This is following the plot that was set up in the Villains Trinity issue, which I think was #7. And it's going to be brought up again once Manipul's finished his current arc. It's actually going to be Rob Williams who comes back and continues this story that he's set up here. That's followed on.
Yeah, obviously it was Bunn in the first.
It was,
part.
but Bunn wrote the first part of it. But now it's going to be Rob Williams who seems to be taking the reins and going forward with it.
Yeah, and I have to say, I'm not sure if I'll be back after Manipul.
Disclaimer: I didn't read this one. I ran out of time. And then I had heard what Connor, because Connor had read it pretty early in the week. And he was kind of like, well, I might not want to continue. So I was like, I'll save it for last.
Honestly, I have reasons beyond that final page, which we'll get to. But there's a lot of this stuff just isn't working for me.
So, I think...
Come on, spoilers, Pete.
We'll start talking about the book once the book's talking about the spoilers for the whole issue are in play. But no, so this was basically Etrigan ends up. Remember the Pandora pits from that issue, the villain issue that we talked about. Etrigan ends up in there, and it separates Etrigan and what's his face, Blood. Yeah,
Jason Blood,
that's the name. It separates them into... But Etrigan becomes ultra powerful. He basically turns into a giant kaiju. He's got an army of demons, and the Trinity are like, oh crap, something's going on, and they show up and they fight the demons, and that all goes on, and then eventually Blood has to accept the fact that he needs to reunite with the demon, otherwise Apocalypse happens.
Yeah, all hell breaks loose, literally.
Yeah. So that's basically what the issue is. Honestly, I thought it was okay. Like, I mean, it kind of felt like a sort of forgettable action issue of Justice League, but it was nowhere near as like bad as say like any of the Justice League issues from like this current run.
No, definitely not. I kind of like the Etrigan stuff just because I like Etrigan, so that stuff's fun. I always like seeing how are they going to rhyme, how are they going to do it, and they actually fracture it a little bit in this one. They're trying to cheat in a couple of places where they really fracture the sentence break, and I'm not entirely sure it counts.
Yeah.
And I did like I really liked the scene where they're all out at dinner, basically, because it was almost like the start of Trinity, and it was just the three of them talking about why they do this. They've got to have the human connection, as they say. That stuff was really nice. Everything to do with the anything that wasn't that, just all the Pandora Pit stuff, all the villain Trinity stuff. I'm sick of it.
I mean, I didn't hate it. I just wasn't that interested in it either. It was kind of just...
Well, I thought it was pretty rough in that issue 7. I wasn't a big fan of there, but I thought maybe that was just Bunn. But no, I just does nothing for me. I really don't like it.
I don't think it's terrible as an idea. It's just so far it's not been that interesting. A lot of the issues basically just the Trinity like fighting monsters, and that's kind of it. And the art's okay. It's not amazing, but it's not.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of March. I'm really not.
I'm not a fan. I just don't think it's terrible.
I mean, I think it's
liked him on
rough.
Sirens. I think Sirens' art was pretty good, but here felt different because I did thumb through the issue. But
yeah, it has some weird moments, obviously, but I don't think it's terrible. It's serviceable.
I do think there are some moments that I like, and then there's others where I think it's really quite ugly.
Yeah, because there's that whole thing where someone has to be sacrificed, like do the curse to reunite Etrigan with Blood, and the Trinity basically say, "Oh, take us," but their united force kind of means that no one has to die, and they kind of survive, but they're willing to. They're basically, we'll take out all three of the Earth's greatest heroes and put the entire Earth at risk to solve this one thing. But that's just kind of who they are. So the Pandora bits move, and we see Cersei and Ra's al Ghul just kind of, we need more backup and stuff, and then in walks the we'll call it the Misfit Trinity of Red Hood, Bizarro, and Artemis. Setting up the plot after Manipul's current arc is going to be a Trinity of Trinities arc.
Well, that's the thing, it's not, because we're going to have a quadrilogy of Trinities, because we're getting the Magic Trinity as well.
Oh, quite right, yeah.
Which is why...
But technically,
can the
no.
trilogy...
Lex left this Trinity though, so this isn't
exactly.
this isn't a Trinity anymore.
So that was a swerve. So the villain
but,
trilogy looks like it's going to be Artemis Bizarro and your best boy,
well,
Red Hood.
yeah, but Cersei is narrating and says a trinity of trinities, so she
Right.
is still referring to them as a trinity.
Aye,
She's
she
not
is.
referring to the magic one.
She is, but she's not doing the solicits and writing the books.
Well, no, but in the dialogue here, she says a trinity of trinities. She is referring to herself as
But then they have to
their
find
trilogy
someone to fill in for Lexton, because
I think, to be fair, obviously, Matt, you didn't read the issue. There's
No.
a lot of talk of fate and destiny, and they're all intertwined, and she's kind of basically going, Lex will be back.
Yeah, well, I wasn't.
Like, we're all stuck together.
I wasn't feeling all that stuff. The talk about fate
Yeah.
and thing was just kind of making my eyes glaze over a little bit.
Exactly. So
I just-
they're still going to be a trinity. They still count.
when it comes down to villains, though, I don't know much about Cersei, Cersei. I know a lot about Roz and Lex, and I don't see Roz and Lex being on the same page for anything.
I mean, I can be pleasant about the March's art. It's like I disliked it, but I'm not mad about it. But this stuff annoys me, where it's like, just.
Do you know what I love?
bullshit.
I don't think I really want to read this once it goes to this stuff in Trinity either. And honestly, outside of the art, Trinity's not been amazing either anyway. So it's kind of like, depending on how I feel.
Yeah, that first
First
arc
issue was good.
Fantastic.
I
I
wasn't.
love the whole first arc.
I didn't love the whole first arc. I thought the whole Mercy stuff was just kind of, it was fine, but not great.
Yeah, but you're wrong. So.
But I'm not really feeling where this is going either. So I'm kind of like, it's not terrible. It's just kind of like, it's just fine. It's just existing. It's inoffensive. So that's Trinity. Trinity was kind of just a sort of typical mediocre superhero comic. Is basically how I'd sum up.
Yeah, basically, Matt, you didn't miss anything.
Yeah,
No, it's good.
I would sum up.
I did thumb through and I saw the gigantic Etrigan. I was like, maybe I'll read this when I'm done. But then hearing you guys say how.
Yeah, I had a few little ideas that were kind of, that's kind of fun or whatever, but it was mostly just kind of forgettable, if I'm honest.
Yeah.